In a small village surrounded by rice fields and quiet rivers lived an old man named Kareem. He was 78 years old. His back was bent with age, his beard was white like cotton, and his clothes were always simple and clean. He lived in a tiny clay house near an old mango tree. Kareem lived alone. His wife had died many years ago, and his two sons had moved to the city. At first, they called him often, but with time, the calls became fewer until they almost stopped completely. Still, every morning the villagers saw Kareem smiling. He watered plants, fed stray dogs, and greeted everyone kindly. People often wondered, how can an old man with so much sadness still look so peaceful? One rainy season, a young boy named Arman came to the village to stay with his uncle. Arman was 19 years old and deeply unhappy. He had failed his college exams twice. His friends laughed at him, and his father constantly scolded him. Every night, Arman sat alone near the river thinking, "My life is useless. Nothing good ever happens to me." One afternoon, while walking through the village, Arman noticed Kareem sitting under the mango tree. The old man was repairing a broken basket while softly singing an old folk song. Even though dark clouds covered the sky, his face carried warmth and calmness. Curious, Arman slowly walked closer. "Grandfather, may I sit here?" he asked quietly. Kareem smiled. "Of course, son. A tree gives shade to everyone." For a few moments, both sat silently, listening to the rain. Then Arman finally spoke. "Grandfather, people say you have suffered a lot in life, but you always smile. Don't you ever feel lonely?" Kareem looked at the falling rain and nodded slowly. "Lonely? Yes, many times, but sadness taught me important lessons." Arman listened carefully. "When I was young," Kareem began, "I worked as a farmer. I was poor, but my wife and children filled my life with happiness. Then one year, a terrible flood destroyed our crops. We had no food, no money, nothing." He paused for a moment. "My wife became sick during that difficult time. There was no hospital nearby. One night, she held my hand and said, 'Stay strong, Kareem. Life must go on.' A few days later, she passed away." Arman lowered his eyes. "I raised my sons alone," Kareem continued. "I worked day and night so they could study and build better lives. Eventually, they moved away to the city." "Do they visit you?" Arman asked softly. "Very rarely," Kareem replied with a gentle smile. "At first, I felt hurt. I kept waiting for them. But one day, I understood something." "What?" "You cannot force people to stay close to you. Love should never become a chain." Arman stayed silent. Kareem then raised 3 fingers. "Life became peaceful for me after I learned 3 simple things. First," he said, "accept what you cannot control. Some people leave, some dreams break. Fighting reality only creates more pain. Second, value small blessings. Many people search for happiness in money and success, but real happiness can be found in simple things: warm sunlight, fresh air, a kind word, or a peaceful sleep." He pointed toward the mango tree, where birds were resting after the rain. "Third, help others whenever you can. When you reduce someone else's pain, your own heart becomes lighter." Arman felt tears in his eyes. "But what if life keeps hurting us?" he asked. Kareem smiled kindly. "Pain is part of life, son. But suffering grows when we only think about ourselves and our problems. The heart heals faster when it learns gratitude and kindness. The rain slowly stopped. Golden sunlight appeared between the clouds. For the first time in many months, Arman felt calm inside. That evening he helped Kareem repair fences around the garden. They shared tea, stories, and laughter until night covered the village. A few weeks later, Arman returned to the city. His problems were still there, but his thinking had changed. Instead of complaining every day, he started appreciating small things. He stopped comparing himself with others. He began helping younger students with their studies and spent more time with people who truly cared about him. Slowly, peace returned to his heart. Life is never free from pain, failure, or disappointment. Every person carries hidden struggles, but happiness does not come from having a perfect life. True peace comes from accepting what cannot be changed, being thankful for what remains, and spreading kindness even during difficult times. Sometimes we wait for life to become easier before we smile, but often life becomes easier when we choose to smile first.